The morning coffee you just sipped didn't just cost you $5, it cost you a fragment of a Brazilian drought, a percentage of a shipping lane bottleneck in the Red Sea, and a sliver of a central bank's desperate fight against a wage price spiral. Most people believe their financial destiny is written in their office cubicle or their local supermarket. They are wrong. Your wallet is not a private sanctuary. It is a battleground for global forces you will never see, governed by leaders you didn't vote for, in countries you may never visit. In the modern era, the butterfly effect is no longer a poetic metaphor for chaos theory, it is a brutal economic reality. A drone strike in the Middle East translates to an extra $20 at the gas pump in Ohio. A policy shift in a Beijing boardroom dictates the mortgage rates in Manchester. We are living in the age of the great interconnectedness, where the distance between a geopolitical crisis and your personal bankruptcy has shrunk to zero. The ghost in the pump, energy geopolitics and the death of discretionary income. Energy is the master resource. When the price of oil or natural gas fluctuates, it doesn't just affect commuters, it changes the price of every object that was ever manufactured, chilled, or transported. The Strait of Hormuz and the $100 barrel. Consider the Strait of Hormuz. Approximately 20% of the world's total oil consumption passes through this narrow waterway. If a conflict were to close this chasm for even a week, global oil prices wouldn't just rise, they would verticalize. For the average Western consumer, this is the tax of instability. The data point: every $10 increase in the price of a barrel of crude oil typically reduces U.S. GDP growth by 0.1 percentage points and increases inflation by 0.2 percentage points. When energy prices spike, discretionary spending is the first casualty. You aren't buying that new iPhone or booking that weekend getaway because your heat or eat budget has expanded to swallow your savings. The green transitions, greenflation. While the shift to renewables is a moral and environmental necessity, the transition period is inherently inflationary. We are moving from a high-efficiency fossil fuel infrastructure to a nascent mineral-dependent one. The demand for lithium, copper, and cobalt has created a new class of commodity supercycles. Copper, essential for EVs and grid upgrades. Lithium, the white gold of battery tech. The result: your next car won't be expensive because of luxury features, it will be expensive because of a mining strike in Chile. The semiconductor shield. Why your toaster is a geopolitical weapon. We used to live in a world of mechanical gears, we now live in a world of silicon wafers. The Great Chip War is perhaps the single most significant event affecting your cost of living today. The Taiwan dependency. Over 90% of the world's most advanced semiconductors are produced by a single company, TSMC, on a single island, Taiwan. If the silicon shield ever cracks due to a cross-strait conflict, the global economy wouldn't just slow down, it would suffer a cardiac arrest. From your dishwasher to your medical devices, the scarcity of chips drives up replacement costs. In 2021 to 2022, the chip shortage added an average of $5,000 to the price of a used car in the United States. This isn't just a tech story, it's a story about why you can't afford to replace your broken microwave. The central bank tug-of-war, the end of easy money. For over a decade after the 2008 crash, the world lived in an era of free money. Interest rates were near zero, and the everything bubble made everyone with a 401k feel like a genius. That era ended with the post-pandemic inflationary surge. The Federal Reserve as the world's landlord. When the U.S. Federal Reserve raises interest rates to combat inflation, they aren't just cooling the American economy, they are exporting financial pain globally. The strong dollar. As U.S. rates rise, the dollar strengthens. Since most global commodities, oil, gold, wheat, are priced in dollars, other countries must pay more in their local currency to buy the same amount of goods. The mortgage trap. For the Western middle class, the shift from 3% to 7% mortgage rates has wiped out trillions in purchasing power, The reality: you are working harder for a currency that buys less, paying off a debt that costs more. This is the dual squeeze of modern central banking. The breadbasket wars, food security as a financial floor, food inflation is the most visceral wallet event. You feel it every Sunday at the grocery store. The war in Ukraine, the breadbasket of Europe, proved how fragile our caloric supply chain truly is. Nitrogen, potash, and the fertilizer crisis. The cost of food isn't just about the grain, it's about the natural gas required to make fertilizer. When gas prices in Europe skyrocketed, fertilizer plants shut down. Less fertilizer equals lower crop yields. Lower yields equals higher prices for corn and soy. Higher corn/soy prices equals higher prices for beef, poultry, and dairy. This is a cascading cost structure. By the time a steak reaches your plate in London or New York, it has been hit by 5 different global price hikes before the chef even touches it. Deglobalization and the death of the China price. For 30 years, the West enjoyed a deflationary dividend. China produced cheap goods, and the West consumed them. This kept inflation low even as we printed money. That era of Chimerica is dead. Nearshoring and friendshoring. Geopolitical tensions have forced companies to move manufacturing away from low-cost regions to secure regions. The cost of security. Building a factory in Arizona or Poland is significantly more expensive than building one in Shenzhen. The consumer burden. You are now paying a geopolitical premium on every pair of sneakers and every laptop. Efficiency has been traded for resiliency, and you are the one funding the trade-off. Climate volatility. The insurance tax. Climate change is no longer just a future projection, it is a current line item on your bank statement. Insurance deserts. In states like Florida and California, home insurance premiums are skyrocketing or becoming unavailable as insurers flee climate risk zones. Supply chain flash floods. A drought in the Panama Canal recently forced ships to carry lighter loads, increasing shipping costs for every toy and tool coming from Asia to the U.S. East Coast. Conclusion: navigating the new normal, the era of set it and forget it, personal finance is over. To protect your wallet in 2026 and beyond, you must become a student of the world. You cannot control the decisions of the Kremlin, the maneuvers of the People's Bank of China, or the weather patterns in the Midwest, but you can recognize that your financial health is a mirror of the world's geopolitical health. The global events mentioned above are not distractions from your real life. They are your real life. They are the invisible hands reaching into your pocket every time you tap your credit card. In this hyperconnected landscape, the only true hedge against global chaos is radical adaptability and global literacy. Your wallet is global. It's time your perspective was too.